What can one dress cost? A career, a reputation, or an entire life within the royal family? May 19th, 2018. Meghan Markle walked into the chapel and walked out condemned. White fabric without a single embellishment became a weapon the palace never forgave. They say family members demanded she change her choice. They say this outfit was a planned provocation. They say simplicity concealed revenge. But the real story behind this dress turns out far darker than any rumor. What if a wedding dress could tear down a monarchy? Sounds insane. Then explain why one outfit divided the world into two warring camps, sparked conspiracy theories, and still makes people argue themselves hoarse. Princess Diana's voluminous skirts, Kate Middleton's lace sleeves, and then her, Meghan Markle, in a dress that screamed through silence. But to understand the truth, we need to go back to the beginning. To that very day in 2018 when the world held its breath, waiting for a fairy tale. May 19th, Windsor Castle. Millions of eyes glued to screens, crowds lining the streets, cameras ready. Everyone knew the bride would appear any moment. Everyone expected the dress would be lavish, ceremonial, regal, because it had always been that way, because tradition. The doors opened, and the room gasped. No ruffles, no crystals, no pomp, only a pure, almost ascetic silhouette. White fabric flowing along her figure, bare shoulders, a long train, and the veil, an endless veil trailing behind her like a cloud. Cameras clicked frantically. Commentators scrambled for words, because this wasn't what they expected. Not at all. Where was the grandeur? Where was the sparkle? Where was the fairy tale, for heaven's sake? And then something interesting happened. Some saw boldness in this dress, modernity, revolution. Others saw coldness, arrogance, disrespect for tradition. One dress. Two worlds, zero reconciliation. Everyone expected a fairy tale. What they got was a manifesto. The next detail changed everything. What was so special about this dress? Why did a simple cut trigger a storm capable of sinking the ship of monarchy? Let's start with the obvious. Clean lines. No embellishment. Bateau neckline, 3/4 sleeves, a silhouette that doesn't shout but whispers. But whispers so loudly it deafens. Remember Diana's dress, 1981, puffy balloon sleeves, crinoline, a 25-foot train, 10,000 pearls and mother-of-pearl sequins. A fairy tale materialized in satin and taffeta. A girl from common roots becoming a princess. The dress had to confirm it. Now Kate, 2011, lace, Victorian motifs, corsetry, elegance wrapped in tradition, respect for history clothed in silk. And then, Meghan, nothing extra, not a single detail for decoration, only fabric, cut, and body. Simplicity isn't modesty, it's a choice. A deliberate choice. Claire Waite-Keller for Givenchy, the first woman as creative director of the French house. Another symbol, another statement. Meghan could have chosen any designer, any brand, any style. She chose a woman who challenged the system. Records from that time show they worked on the dress for months, every seam calculated, every fold planned. This wasn't spontaneity. This was strategy. And this choice becomes even more telling when we move to the detail that transformed the dress into a political message. The veil. 16 feet of fabric. 53 types of flowers, each flower representing a Commonwealth country. California poppy, the bride's homeland. Wintergreen, Canada, where the couple spent the first months of their relationship. Rose, thistle, daffodil, shamrock, symbols of the United Kingdom. And on, the entire world embroidered in silk and gold. Not a single stitch on this veil was accidental. Each flower is a country, Each country is a statement. Artisans embroidered for months, washed their hands every 30 minutes to keep the fabric pristine white. Silk threads, organza, technique perfected to the finest detail. But the most important part lay ahead. Because a veil isn't just beauty, it's diplomacy, it's politics, it's a message to the entire world. I didn't come just to be a prince's wife. I came to represent all these countries, all these cultures, all these people. Documents reveal an unexpected turn. Some analysts called it a brilliant move. Others called it audacity. Who was she to claim the right to speak for the Commonwealth? She wasn't even of royal blood. An actress? An American? An outsider? Or maybe that's exactly why her choice mattered so much. The most important part lay ahead. Why did this beauty trigger such a wave of criticism? Let's look at the facts. Camp number 1. Admiration. Finally, modernity enters the monarchy. She's not hiding behind ruffles, she's showing strength. Minimalism is the new luxury. Fashion critics raved. Feminists applauded. The younger generation saw Meghan as a hero. Camp number 2. Hatred. Where's the respect for tradition? Too simple for a royal wedding. She turned the ceremony into a runway show. Conservative press tore the dress apart. Bloggers compared it to a nightgown. Commentators called the choice an insult to Diana's memory. One dress, two completely different worlds of perception. The real turning point came later, when people started digging deeper. Someone remembered. Meghan is an actress. She knows how to work with image. She understands symbolism. So this wasn't coincidence. This was direction. Someone else noticed. The dress's simplicity contrasted with all the ceremony's grandeur. Royal guests in tiaras and medals, gold, velvet, jewels, and the bride in pure white fabric. Like a sacrifice? Or like a judge? And here appears a new character in this story. The very idea of simplicity as a weapon. Because when everyone expects sparkle and you arrive in minimalism, it's louder than any scream. But what if the division wasn't accidental? What if something bigger was happening behind the scenes? And here we arrive at the main point, at what the palace corridors whispered about. Rumors started almost immediately. They said the royal family opposed the dress choice. They said there were several meetings discussing the appropriateness of minimalist style. They said someone from the senior family members suggested more traditional options. Simplicity as a weapon, or as protection. Photographs captured an important moment, the expressions on guests' faces during the ceremony. Some smiled, some frowned, some looked surprised, shocked, disappointed. Everyone saw what they wanted to see. And now, the truth, or what's considered truth. The choice of Claire Waite Keller, the first woman leading Givenchy, wasn't random. Meghan could have gone to a British designer. That would have been safer, expected, proper. But she chose a French woman who herself was a symbol of change. Would a decade make a difference? Unlikely, because it wasn't about the dress. It was about what it meant, refusing to play by old rules, wanting to write her own. An American in British monarchy, an actress among aristocrats, a woman of mixed race in one of the world's most conservative institutions. The dress was the least of the problems, but it became the breaking point. The key moment came later, when people started talking about political subtext. A veil with Commonwealth flowers. That's a direct address to the post-colonial world. It's an acknowledgement of diversity. It's inclusivity embroidered in gold. For some, a beautiful gesture. For others, inappropriate politics at a royal wedding. The contrast with other family members' style was obvious. Kate always chose classics. Diana balanced between tradition and modernity. Meghan immediately declared, I won't copy. I'll create my own. And in this context appears the most important question. What did this dress change? Not in fashion, not in traditions, but in the very perception of the royal family. After 2018, brides worldwide started choosing minimalism, clean lines instead of lace, simplicity instead of pomp. Meghan's dress launched a trend. Designers called it the Markle effect. Sales of minimalist wedding dresses grew by 40% within a year. But that's only the surface. Deeper lies how the dress became a symbol of division, between those who wanted to see the monarchy modernized and those who clung to the past, between those who accepted Meghan and those who rejected her from the start. Perhaps this dress wasn't just an outfit. It was a warning nobody heard. A warning that a woman who chooses simplicity as a statement won't stay silent. That a bride who embroiders flowers from around the world on her veil won't limit herself to palace walls. The connection to subsequent events is obvious. Leaving Great Britain, the interview that shook foundations, public accusations, family rupture. All of this didn't start in 2020. It started earlier, perhaps even the moment Meghan chose this dress. Because a dress is always more than fabric. It's intention. It's a message. It's a promise or a threat, depending on who's watching. One dress, one day, infinite interpretations. Simplicity that proved more complex than any luxury. White that sparked a black storm of emotions. A veil that didn't conceal but revealed intentions. What really happened on May 19th, 2018? A wedding? Or a declaration of independence, tradition, or its funeral? Which version do you choose? The truth proved sharper than any rumor. Meghan Markle's dress truly became a sentence, but not from the palace, but from a society that never forgave her audacity to be herself. No revenge, no prohibitions, just a woman who chose to speak through simplicity louder than through luxury. And the world divided forever. Think about it. Why can one choice generate so much hatred? What scares people about simplicity more than excess? If this story resonated, give it a thumbs up. It inspires us to dig deeper. Subscribe to discover the truth behind loud headlines. Hit the bell. Ahead lie dozens more stories where beauty conceals pain and outfits become battlefields. Soon we'll reveal secrets of other royal looks that changed destinies. See you next time.